And then do not be scared to ask questions. We are here to help you. All right, for those of our PGA and LPGA members, please reply to the email that you sent earlier with the Zoom link, and you will receive credit for attending this seminar. So all you need to do is send your ID information, and we will mark you down and make sure you get your credit for that. Just a little bit about the CGA. So along with the CGA membership, if you have a GIN number at the CGA member club, your membership in the Carolinas Golf Association includes. We run 50 major championships for men, women, seniors, and juniors, 40 CGA championship qualifiers, 25 USGA national championship qualifiers, 5 team match competitions, 52 one-day tournaments, 20 plus ladies play days, 52 senior 4-ball one-day tournaments, over 90 Tar Heel Youth Golf Association tournaments, and in 2022, the CGA will conduct 320 plus events. Another thing we offer is our handicapping service. So you have a official USGA handicap index via GIN handicap system. If you have not already, you should go ahead and download the mobile app for that, and it is just the GIN app provided by the USGA. In addition to that app, you can post your total score, or you have the option to post hole-by-hole scores and include plain stats like number of putts, greens, hit in regulation, and fairways hit in regulation, as well as there is a partner list is now very flexible, and the built-in course calculator also allows you to add as many playing partners as you need to add to your group with your course handicaps. We also offer educational services. So we answer to the rules of golf and amateur status questions. We have a tournament clearinghouse for amateurs, women's and junior tournaments in the Carolinas. We have rules of golf seminars, much like the one you are attending tonight, from December to March. We have USGA tournament management program training seminars. We have USGA handicap and course rating seminars, and a guest speaker service to member clubs and organizations. We also offer complimentary laser measuring for any member club course. And we have free course and slope rating and computation in accordance with the USGA course rating system to all member clubs. And that includes the SCGA, the WSCGA, and we handle all of the South Carolina clubs. Please go ahead and visit our websites. We have the carolinasgolf.org, as well as TYGA-juniorgolf.org. So go ahead and take a look at both of our websites if you have not already. It has all sorts of information, including tournament results, schedules, course ratings, online tournament registration, entry forms, handicap verification, score posting, rankings, and many other features. We also have the Carolinas Golf Foundation, which is a 501c3 non-for-profit formed in 1977. We donate approximately $100,000 in 2021 and overall have donated a total of $1.6 million. And then these are just some of the programs the Carolinas Golf Foundation provides funding for. We also have a staff agronomist with us, Bill Anderson, and he goes around and assists agronomy staffs at member clubs on any turf grass and course condition issues. We also have our CGA ACERS program available to all members who make hole-in-ones. And then also we have our Member Advantage program, which offers discounted greens fees and stay and play packages. So each month the CGA promotes a member club with an exclusive deal available only to CGA members. And we also offer special access / discounts to sporting events. We have Carolina Hurricanes discounted tickets, the Hornets discounted tickets, and then the Myrtle Beach Pelicans discounted tickets as well. You can also travel with us. We currently have our island 4-ball tournament going on down at Casa de Campo in the Dominican Republic. We have that to offer. We also offer trips to Scotland and many other places. I know we took a trip to Bandon Dunes a couple years ago, but we offer many travel opportunities with the CGA. We also have our Youth on Course program. Youth on Course, juniors pay, or youth players 6 to 18 pay $5 or less to play around. And when you join the Carolinas Youth on Course with a $10 annual membership dues, it lets you play for just $5 per round at participating courses. And then it is also we have to say thanks to the generosity of the HV3 Foundation. The membership cost is just $10. And the HV3 Foundation was started in 2019 by PGA Tour professional and North Carolina native Harold Varner. And Harold started this foundation to provide affordable access to youth in sports. And then to join, you can just go to thecarolinasgolf.org/YOC. And then if you don't already, please follow us on social media. We have our Twitter account at CGA Golf 1909. We have our Facebook account, which is just Carolinas Golf Association, and then our Instagram account, which is CGA Golf 1909. We also have a license plate program in circulation in North Carolina, and it is available on the North Carolina DMV website. All right, so we will now get into our rules portion of the seminar tonight. So just to start off with an overview of what we're going to go over tonight. So we're going to go over the 5 areas of the course: a ball lost or out of bounds, the alternative to stroke and distance, promoting faster pace of play, and then penalty area and relief options, the relaxed requirements and reduced penalties on the putting green in bunkers, and then any accidental acts and occurrences and searching for a ball. We would also talk about determining who or what moved a ball at rest, dropping the ball in the right way, specified dropping and redropping procedures, and then our non-free relief options, which are unplayable ball, provisional ball, and ball lost or out of bounds, and then free relief options from abnormal course conditions, movable obstructions, embedded ball relief, and loose impediments. And we will start with promoting faster pace of play. So rule 5.6b, a round of golf is meant to be played at a prompt pace.
It is important that you are aware of how your pace of play impacts others. The 2019 rules encourage prompt pace of play by all players by recommending that you play promptly throughout the round, such as by preparing in advance for each stroke, moving at a good pace between strokes and between holes, and that you make a stroke in no more than 40 seconds.
All right, and then ready golf is always encouraged.
The order of play when starting a hole depends on who has the honor. After that, it is based on which ball is farthest from the hole. In stroke play, however, there is no penalty for playing out of turn, and the 2019 rules both allow and encourage you to play ready golf, which means to play in a safe and responsible order that is most convenient and that saves time. These players agreed to play out of turn because the player farther from the hole had a difficult shot, and the other player was ready to play.
Our search time when looking for your golf ball has been reduced to 3 minutes. And then a couple things if you're playing with a caddy. So your caddy may not assist a player with alignment before the shot.
The rules permit you to freely exchange advice with your caddy or partner, but you're required to act alone when making a stroke. Under the 2019 rules, once you start taking your stance for a stroke, neither your caddy nor partner are allowed to stand behind you.
And then your caddy may always mark, lift, and clean the ball on the putting green.
Under the 2019 rules, when your ball is on the putting green, your caddy is allowed to mark, lift, and clean it, with or without your approval. If your caddy has marked and lifted your ball, it can be replaced by either you or your caddy.
And then you are allowed to putt with the flag stick in the hole. And then we have our optional local rule for stroke and distance, which we will touch on a bit later. So we get into our ball lost or out of bounds. So if your ball is lost or out of bounds, you must play under stroke and distance. You also may play a provisional ball if your ball might be lost or out of bounds anywhere other than in a penalty area. When you are proceeding with playing a provisional ball, you must follow one requirement before making a stroke, and that is you must announce your intention to play a provisional ball, and you must use the word provisional or otherwise clearly indicate that you are playing a provisional ball. And then just a couple examples here. So examples to clearly identify a provisional ball. I'm playing a provisional ball. I'm playing under Rule 18.3, and I'm going to play another just in case. And then a few examples that do not clearly indicate a provisional ball is I'm going to reload, I'm going to play another, or there's just no announcement at all that you have any intention of playing a provisional ball. So now we'll get into our stroke and distance local rule. So this is the local rule for alternative for stroke and distance. The local rule is not intended for higher levels of play, such as professionals or elite amateur level competitions. You will not find this local rule in effect at any of our championship events, but at any of our one-day events, this rule is in effect and you are allowed to use this rule. So the player gets 2 penalty strokes when using this relief option so that the relief is comparable to what could have been achieved if the player had already taken stroke and distance relief.
Starting in 2019, when your ball is lost or out of bounds, your course can use a local rule that does not require you to play under stroke and distance. Here is how it works. For 2 penalty strokes, estimate where you think your original ball is or where it went out of bounds. Imagine a straight line running from the hole through that estimated point. Next, estimate the point on the nearest edge of the fairway that is the same distance from the hole. Imagine a straight line running from the hole through that estimated point. The relief area where you can drop and play your ball for 2 penalty strokes will be quite large, anywhere as much as 2 club lengths outside of the 2 lines and between them, but not nearer the hole than the spot where you estimated your original ball is lost. You cannot use this local rule if your ball is lost in a penalty area or if you have played a provisional ball. To learn more, please visit usga.org/rules.
All right, and then remember, this is just a local rule only. And this is your diagram for if your ball is lost. So you're allowed 2 club lengths from where you think the ball is lost, or 2 club lengths from the direct line where you think it is into the fairway. And you can drop your ball anywhere in that shaded area. And then this is your example for a ball that is out of bounds. Again, you have that line no closer to the hole, taking you all the way into the fairway. And then you are allowed that extra 2 club lengths into the fairway as well. And then do we have any questions? All right. Now we will get into how to drop a ball in the right way. So the ball must be dropped by the player straight down from knee height in the relief area, and the ball must not strike the player or equipment before it hits the ground or be thrown, spun, rolled, or dropped in any other way to influence where the ball will come to rest. And then we'll just go through a couple procedures when dropping and redropping. So drop the ball from knee height.
When dropping your ball under the new rules, the likelihood you will need only 1 drop will increase, while the randomness of your resulting lie will be preserved. The procedure is simple. Hold the ball at knee height, let go of it so it falls straight down, and make sure that it lands and comes to rest in the relief area. Don't throw, roll, or spin the ball, and don't let it hit you as it falls.
All right. So getting into it a little more, so your reference point is the starting point for measuring a relief area, and the relief area is where the ball must be dropped and come to rest. So your reference point examples are the nearest point of complete relief, the point the original ball last crossed the edge of a penalty area, the player chosen point on the relief line for back on the line relief, the spot where the previous stroke was made, the spot of the original ball, and then your relief areas are all measured 1 club length from the reference point, except for when you're taking your lateral club relief, which is the 2 club lengths from a penalty area or unplayable ball relief. And then when measuring your relief area, it is always the largest club, excluding your putter, defines the club lengths for your relief area. And for most players, that club will be your driver. And then this video will show your club lengths and relief areas.
When you drop in relief areas defined by 1 or 2 club lengths, in the 2019 rules, a club length will always mean the length of the longest club in your bag, except your putter. For most players, that club will be their driver, but not always. This player is using his driver to measure his 2 club length lateral relief area outside a red penalty area. This player's back on the line relief area is 1 club length on either side of and behind the point he has chosen on the line from the hole through where his ball was unplayable in the bunker. He is estimating the size of his relief area without measuring, then dropping well within 1 club length of that point. Finally, when a player measures with a shorter club, it is still the longest club in their bag, except the putter, that defines the relief area. Remember, when you drop, your ball must always land in, come to rest in, and be played from the relief area.
All right. And then like we talked about already, so all measured is 1 club length from the relief area, except for that lateral relief, which is 2 club lengths for those 2 options in penalty area relief and unplayable ball. And then you must not be nearer the hole than your reference point. And then we'll get into when to drop again. So you get your 2 drops and then you place the ball. So drop, drop, and place.
In the 2019 rules, when dropping in taking free relief or penalty relief, your ball must be dropped in the defined relief area, and it must come to rest in there too. Most of the time, with the knee-height dropping procedure, that will happen on your first drop. When it doesn't, drop a second time. If that drop doesn't stay within the relief area either, place a ball where your second drop first touched the ground.
So that's a very good example of your drop, drop, and replace of the ball coming out of your relief area twice there and then placing it back on that spot where the second drop hit the ground. So now wrong way drops. There are unlimited ways to drop in a wrong way. This picture here is a good example showing her dropping above knee height. And then you got the hitting the player or player's equipment before hitting the ground. And then it does not hit the relief area when dropped. So it has to, when you drop your ball, it must land in the relief area to count as a proper drop. And then when dropping in the right way, this ball must come to rest in the relief area. And then redropping, after dropping your ball the right way, if it comes to rest outside the relief area, drop in the right way a second time. And then if your second drop done the right way comes to rest in the relief area, that ball is played as it lies. And then when you place your ball after dropping in the right way, so after 2 drops made in the right way, finish outside the relief area, you then place a ball where your second drop hit the ground. And then all drops permit substitution, whether it is free relief and or penalty relief.
When the 2019 rules let you lift your ball to take relief instead of playing it as it lies, you will be allowed to either use your original ball or substitute and use a different ball. In the 2019 rules, you are allowed to substitute a ball when taking free relief, as well as when taking penalty relief. This player is substituting a ball when taking free relief from a cart path.
All right. So when you are and aren't allowed to substitute a ball, so when you can substitute a new ball is anytime you take either penalty or free relief. And a couple examples of those are under penalty from a penalty area for a ball lost or out of bounds. And then without penalty for a ball in ground under repair, temporary water, ball on a cart path or any other abnormal course condition, or an embedded ball in the general area. And then when you cannot substitute a new ball is when you have to replace your ball on its original spot. And then examples of that are replacing your ball on the putting green. You can't switch out for your putting ball. If you have a lucky putting ball, you can't bring that into play. And then replacing your ball after accidentally moving it during a search. And then do we have any questions about that? All right. So next we will get into our 5 areas of the course. So the course is divided into 5 defined areas. Play of the game from each area has its own unique privileges and restrictions. And then those 5 areas are the teen area, the general area, all your bunkers, all your penalty areas, and then any putting green out on the course. So we'll start with the general area. The general area is one of the 5 defined areas of the course and includes the majority of places on it. So that's all your fairways, all the rough, the wooded areas that are not marked as a penalty area, any areas of tall, unmaintained grass, again, except if those are marked as penalty areas, and then any naturally sandy areas, including deserts, and then those also exclude any areas marked as a penalty area. And then the general area, the only places on the course that are not part of the general area are those defined as our other 4 areas of the course. So your teen area of the hole you are playing, the putting green of the hole you are playing, all the bunkers, and then all penalty areas as well. So our next area of the course is our penalty areas. These are places on the course where your ball often is not found, or when found is typically very difficult or impossible to play. And this includes any body of water on the course, such as a sea, a lake, a pond, a river, a surface drainage ditch, any other open water course, or just a ditch in general, whether it does or does not contain any water in it. And then any other area of the course marked or defined by the committee as a penalty area. And this includes any deserts, any densely wooded or overgrown areas, any jungles, lava rock fields, or areas of tall, unmaintained grasses. So then we'll talk about our ways the penalty areas can be marked. So your penalty areas should be identified by one of these 3 means, whether it's stakes, painted lines, physical features. They help you see where a penalty area is from a distance. They let you know the number of penalty relief options you have, and then they allow you to figure out where the outer edge of that penalty area might be. So then some changes for penalty areas. So what is a penalty area? Your traditional red and yellow water or marked water hazards. Other areas can be marked red, and then play from penalty areas. When you are playing from penalty areas, it is okay to move loose impediments. It is okay to make practice swings. It is okay to ground your club, and it is okay to touch the water.
Red and yellow water hazards, 2 things that most golfers are pretty familiar with. Now, one of the big changes in 2019, though, is the introduction of this concept of penalty areas. the ability for committees to now mark additional areas with red lines. So I think 2019 moving forward, we're actually going to see more red lines on the golf course.
I think that's correct, and we'd be happy to see that. We on many golf courses around the world, you'll see areas such as this, difficult areas to find your golf ball, difficult areas to play from, and by being able to mark them as red hazards, we give the player a relief option outside of it. So just outside the red line, they can then drop under penalty of 1 stroke within 2 club lengths of that point of entry.
Yeah, I mean, this change is really all about giving some flexibility to the committee when it comes to defining their golf course. But because we are going to see more red lines, there's now the opportunity for players to find their balls in more situations. Similar to this, if my ball is there, I may well want to play it, yes. Right? Under the current rules, there are a number of things I can't do. I can't ground my club or move loose impediments. All those things come 2019 as part of the Rules Modernization Initiative. Those go away as well. So if a player wants to play their ball, they're now going to have the ability to do some things that today they wouldn't allow for. And again, I think just offering that flexibility to the player, you can play the ball as it lies, you can do all these things, or you can take relief under a penalty of 1 stroke. I think that's all important.
It is important, and a key element, a key theme throughout the modernization process was trying to speed the game up. And we think that these changes in and around penalty areas will do just that, make a wonderful game just that little bit quicker, and therefore that little bit better.
All right, so we have our 2 types of penalty areas. You have your yellow penalty area, which you have 2 relief options from, and your red penalty area, which you have 3 relief options from. Now, if a penalty area is not marked or has no color that has indicated which type of penalty area it is treated as a red penalty area. So when you are allowed to take relief from a penalty area, so you may take penalty area relief when your ball lies in a penalty area, or you have knowledge or virtual certainty that your ball is in a penalty area, even if you cannot find it. And then having knowledge or virtual certainty means there is conclusive evidence that your ball is in the penalty area, or it is 95% or more likely that your ball is in the penalty area, even if there is a small degree of doubt. So now we'll get into our relief options. So your first option, and this is available for red or yellow penalty areas, and that is you play from where the previous stroke was made. Our second relief option, which is also available for red or yellow, is our back on the line relief. And then this video will show you a little bit more about back on the line relief.
When taking relief from a penalty area for 1 penalty stroke, one of your relief options in the 2019 rules is going back on the line. Follow these steps. Estimate the point on the edge of the penalty area where your ball last crossed as it went in. Imagine a straight line running from the hole through that estimated point and extending behind the penalty area. Go back as far as you like and identify a spot on that line. Measure or estimate a 1 club length wide relief area on either side of and behind that spot. In the 2019 rules, a club length is always the longest club in your bag except your putter. Then drop a ball in the relief area. Your dropped ball must land in and be played from the relief area.
All right, so back on the line relief. So for 1 penalty stroke, you may take back on the line relief from a penalty area. And again, that is both yellow or red penalty areas. So you determine the straight line formed by the hole and the point where your ball last entered the penalty area. You choose a relief point behind the penalty area anywhere on that line that you chose. And there is no limit to how far behind that reference point you go. And then you drop within 1 club length of the reference point you chose, not near the hole. So those are our 2 penalty area relief options for yellow penalty areas. And then you also get those 2 options for red penalty areas, but there is also 1 more option for red penalty areas, and that is your 2 club length relief or your lateral area relief from a red penalty area only.
In the 2019 rules, you take lateral relief from a red penalty area under a one-stroke penalty. Estimate the point on the edge of the penalty area where your ball last crossed as it went in. Starting at that point, measure or estimate your 2 club lengths relief area outside the penalty area that is not nearer the hole. In the 2019 rules, club lengths are the length of the longest club in your bag, except your putter, and then drop a ball in that area. Your drop ball must land in and come to rest in the relief area.
All right, so for 1 penalty stroke, you may take lateral relief from a red penalty area. So you must first identify the point where the ball last entered into the red penalty area. This is your reference point. And then you drop a ball within 2 club lengths of the reference point and not near the hole. And those 2 club lengths will be your relief area. So then for a recap for red penalty area relief options, you have all 3 options. You have stroke and distance relief, back on the line relief, and then lateral relief, which is your 2 club lengths. And again, that option is only for red penalty areas. And then new to 2019 is the option for equal distance opposite margin relief, and that is available by local rule only. And then do we have any questions? All right, we'll keep it moving. So now we'll get into some relaxed requirements and reduced penalties, specifically on the putting green, in the bunkers, and then any accidental acts or occurrences. So first we'll talk about on the putting green, repairing any damage.
The 2019 rules allow you to repair almost any damage on the putting green. In addition to ball marks and old hole plugs, you are allowed to repair spike marks and any other damage caused by shoes, repair animal damage, and repair damage caused by maintenance practices. The fixing and repairing of the putting green must be done promptly and must not improve your line of play beyond the repair of the damage.
All right. So without penalty, you may repair damage on the putting green caused by people, animals, artificial objects, or natural objects. And then natural imperfections on the putting green must not be repaired, and then repair must be done in a prompt fashion. So examples of damage on the putting green you may repair are any ball marks, shoe damage such as scrapes, indentations, and spike marks, scrapes and indentations caused by the flagstick or player's equipment, any old hole plugs, turf plugs, and sod seams, any maintenance vehicle and maintenance tool damage, any animal tracks and hoof indentations, and then any indentations caused by embedded objects such as acorns, stones, or tees. And then examples of natural imperfections on the putting green that are not allowed to be repaired are grass growth issues such as bare, uneven, or diseased areas, occasional maintenance imperfections like aeration holes and grooves made for vertical mowing, the natural wear to the hole, imperfections caused by rainfall or irrigation, and then any surface imperfections caused by weeds, other plants, and any natural objects. So then we'll get this video on touching the line of play on the putting green.
Under the 2019 rules, when you are assessing the line for your putt, there will be no penalty if your caddy or partner touches the putting green to point out where you should aim or how your putt will break. This includes touching the green with the flagstick.
So before you putt, you or your caddy may touch the putting green to point out where you should aim or how your putt will break. And then you may do so by using a hand, a foot, or anything you are holding. However, you or your caddy may not set down any object on or off the putting green to show your aim or break, even if it is removed before you make your putts. And then we'll go into any accidental movement of the ball.
Under the 2019 rules, if you accidentally move your ball or ball marker on the putting green, there is no penalty. For example, if you accidentally move your ball in making a practice swing or in preparing for your stroke, drop your ball marker on your ball and move it. Move your ball with your foot. Or cause your ball marker to move. There is no penalty, and you simply replace your ball or ball marker on its original spot.
All right, so no penalty for accidentally moving your ball or ball marker on the putting green. And then examples include accidentally bumping the ball with your club, dropping the ball on the ball marker, moving the ball while picking up your ball marker, or kicking the ball while repairing damage on the putting green. And then if you accidentally cause your ball to move on the putting green, you must replace the ball on its original spot or the estimated spot if it is unknown where that original spot was. And then after marking and lifting the ball is always replaced if it is moved. In this video, we'll go into more.
After you mark, lift, and then replace your ball on the putting green, if it moves for any reason, including for your own accidental actions, or for some other reason such as wind. Always replace your ball back on its original spot. If you don't know the exact spot, estimate it as accurately as you can, and replace the ball there.
So if your ball on the putting green is moved by wind or no apparent cause, and you've marked, lifted, and replaced the ball, you must replace the ball on its original spot, and there is no penalty for that. If you have not marked, lifted, and replaced the ball, then you play from the new position of the ball, and there is still no penalty. So if the ball hits the flagstick in the hole, so you can decide whether to leave the flagstick in the hole when making a stroke. Such a stroke may be made from the putting green or any other part of the course. There is no penalty if your ball accidentally hits the flagstick. And then if your ball is deflected by the flagstick and not holed, you play your ball as it lies. And then it is okay for a putt to strike any unattended flagstick in the hole.
Under the 2019 rules, there is no penalty for hitting the flagstick that is in the hole when you've played your stroke from off the putting green, or if you've played your stroke from on the green. So if you want to leave the flagstick in the hole, perhaps to save time or because you think it helps you, there is no penalty if your ball hits it. If your ball is not holed, play it as it lies.
And then for the special case of your ball resting against the flagstick in the hole, your ball is treated as holed. And that is if any part of the ball is below the surface of the putting green. And then do we have any questions? All right. So now we will get into any accidental acts and occurrences with no penalty. So deflection of the ball in motion. If your ball accidentally strikes you or your equipment, there is no penalty. If this happens, play your ball from its new spot where it came to rest after it hit either your equipment or another player's equipment. And then double hitting a ball, there is no penalty if you double hit a ball. I know myself, I've done it multiple times. So there is no penalty for double hitting a ball. And then there is also no penalty, as we discussed, for movement of a ball on the putting green. Also, if you accidentally move your ball during a search, there is no penalty.
Under the 2019 rules, there is no penalty if you accidentally move your ball while searching for it. If you do, replace your ball back on its original spot. If you don't know the original spot exactly, like this player, simply estimate it, including how the ball was lying under the grass, and replace the ball there.
So if you accidentally cause your ball to move while fairly searching for it, there's no penalty, and you must replace the ball on that spot, best estimated where you believed it was at rest. And then searching for a ball, you have 3 minutes to search for a ball before it becomes lost. And then if the search begins and is temporarily interrupted for a good reason, the time between the interruption and search resumption does not count in your 3 minutes. So next we'll determine who or what moved a ball at rest. So you must be virtually certain. Virtual certainty is required to conclude you caused your ball to move. And then again, virtually certain is 95% likely.
Other than when your ball is on the putting green, if you take an action near your ball and cause it to move, you get a one-stroke penalty under the 2019 rules. However, you are only responsible for causing a ball to move if it is known or virtually certain that you did so. This means when it is 95% or more likely that you caused it to move. For this player, it is not virtually certain that his actions caused the ball to move. Therefore, the ball is treated as moved by natural forces and played from the new location.
So replacing the ball when the spot is unknown. So you estimate the spot where the ball was at rest and replace it on that spot. And then some common rules that require replacing the ball is when the ball was moved during a search, accidentally on the putting green, by another player, or by another ball at rest. And then if you accidentally cause your ball to move, you get a one-stroke penalty and must replace your ball. And then when replacing a ball, the ball is also always placed, never dropped, even when the spot is not known. You place the ball on an estimated spot. So next we'll talk about ball moved by wind or no apparent cause. So if your ball lies in the general area, a bunker, a penalty area, and is moved by wind or no apparent cause, you must play the ball as it lies and get no penalty. And then if your ball is moved by an outside influence, so if your ball is moved by an outside influence, you must replace the ball and you also get no penalty. So this picture here shows that an iguana is moving that ball. So you must replace that ball where you best believe that iguana moved it from, and then you get no penalty for doing so. Any questions? All right. So we'll now move on to recognizing abnormal course conditions. So your abnormal course condition are any of these things. So you got your animal holes, ground under repair, immovable obstruction, or temporary water. So your abnormal course condition relief. So if you have interference from an abnormal course condition, sorry about that. So if your ball touches or is in or on an abnormal course condition, an abnormal course condition physically interferes with your area of intended stance or intended swing. And then your ball is on the putting green, and an abnormal course condition on or off the putting green intervenes on your line of play. So those are your abnormal course condition relief examples. So relief from an abnormal course condition is not allowed when your ball is in a penalty area, the abnormal course condition is out of bounds, and then it is clearly unreasonable to play the ball because of something other than the abnormal course condition, or because you chose a club, type of stance, or swing or direction of play that is clearly unreasonable. So when we're taking relief from an abnormal course condition in the general area, you must follow these steps. Excuse me. Number one, identify a reference point, and that is your nearest point of complete relief. And then you measure your one club length for the from the reference point, that is your relief area. And then you must drop in the relief area as well. And then do we have any questions? All right, we will move on to loose impediments. So loose impediments are natural objects that are not attached to anything, no longer part of something growing. They are not solidly embedded in the ground, and that cannot be easily picked up out of the ground and then not sticking to the ball. So without penalty, you are allowed to move them out of your way, no matter where they are on or off the course. So some common examples of loose impediments are stones, loose grass, leaves, branches and sticks, and any pine needles and pine cones. Some other items that are also loose impediments includes worms, insects and spiders, living or alive, or living or dead, and then the mounds and webs made by those animals, and then any clumps of soil and sand, but not loose soil or sand, and then any animal waste and any dead animals as well. And then loose impediments in a penalty area may be touched or removed without penalty, including when your ball and the loose impediment are in the same penalty area. And if you move a loose impediment in a penalty area and cause your ball to move, you get a penalty stroke, and then you must replace the ball on its original spot. So loose impediments anywhere on or off the course may be touched or removed without penalty, including when your ball and the loose impediment are in the same bunker. If you move a loose impediment in a bunker and cause your ball to move, you get a penalty of 1 stroke, and you must again replace that ball to where it originally lied. So in bunkers, it is okay to move loose impediments.
Under the 2019 rules, there is no penalty for moving loose impediments when your ball is in a bunker. However, some bunker restrictions continue to exist.
And then we have our restrictions on touching sand in bunkers. So when your ball is in a bunker, you get a penalty if you test the condition of the sand to learn information for your next stroke with your hand, a club, a rake, or any other object. And then if you touch the sand with a club right behind or in front of your ball, as you make a practice swing or as you make your backswing for a stroke. And then it is not a penalty to touch the sand in a bunker when you dig in with your feet to take a stance for a practice swing or your next stroke. If you lean on a club to rest, to stay balanced, or to prevent a fall. If you place or toss your club or equipment, including your golf bag, a rake, or other objects in the bunker. If you take actions permitted by the rules, such as measuring, making or marking, lifting, and replacing your ball, and then smooth the bunker to care for the course, and then strike the sand in frustration or anger, even though this is considered poor etiquette and is not a good idea. And then we'll talk about our movable obstructions. So that is any artificial object that can be moved. And it is moved with reasonable effort and without damaging the course or the obstruction itself. So a movable obstruction can be moved anywhere on or off the course. And if your ball moved while you remove a movable obstruction, there is no penalty and you must replace the ball. And then we will move on to our embedded ball relief. So free relief is available anywhere in the general area for an embedded ball. And then there is no relief for an embedded ball in any bunkers, penalty areas, or naturally sandy areas in the general area. And then relief for an embedded, or when your ball isn't embedded. So your ball is embedded only if it is in its own pitch mark made as a result of your previous stroke. And then part of the ball is below the level of the ground, and your ball does not necessarily have to touch the soil to be embedded. And then how to take embedded ball relief. So dropping within 1 club length of the spot right behind the ball where the ball was embedded, not near the hole, And then the relief area must be in the general area. So now we'll get into our unplayable ball relief. So you can use the unplayable ball relief options if your ball lies in the general area, in the bunker, in the teen area, or on the putting green. And then this is not an option when your ball is in the penalty area. So your relief options for a unplayable ball. So a player may take an unplayable ball relief using one of the three options in Rule 19.2 A, B, or C. So A, you have your stroke and distance relief. B is back on the line relief. And then C is your lateral relief or your 2 club lengths. So in each case, you are adding 1 penalty stroke anytime you declare your ball unplayable and take relief from that line. So first, you have your stroke and distance relief, and that is play the original ball or another ball from where the previous stroke was made. So this shows your first option. So the player may take stroke and distance relief even if the original ball has not been found or identified. But to take the other 2 options of back on the line relief or lateral relief, the original ball must be found. So our second option of back on the line relief is drop the ball, the original ball or another ball in a relief area based on the reference line going straight back from the hole through the spot of the original ball. So your reference point is a point on the reference line, and it is chosen by the player further from the hole than the spot of the original ball. Your relief area is 1 club length measured from the reference point. And then the limits on the location of the relief area, they must not be near the hole than the reference point, and they may be in any area of the course. And then your third option for your unplayable ball relief is your lateral relief or your 2 club lengths. So your reference point is the spot of the ball. So in this picture here, it shows that the player's ball is in this bush here. So that spot of the ball at rest is your reference point. You get your relief area of 2 club lengths from that spot of the ball. And then the limits on location of the relief area is the same as the back on the line relief. So these are your 3 relief options for unplayable ball in the general area. So you got stroke and distance relief, back on the line relief, and your lateral relief or your 2 club lengths. So now we'll talk about some new relief options for an unplayable ball in a bunker. So it is the same options as the general area for 1 penalty stroke, and it must stay in the bunker for 2 of those options. And then you also have a new option of back on the line relief outside of the bunker, and that is for 2 penalty strokes.
When you decide your ball in a bunker is unplayable, under the 2019 rules, you have an extra option that lets you drop back on the line outside the bunker for a penalty of 2 strokes. Imagine a straight line running from the hole through where your unplayable ball is. Identify a spot on that line as far behind the bunker as you like. Measure or estimate a 1 club length wide relief area on either side of and behind that spot. Then drop a ball in that area. Your dropped ball must land in and be played from the relief area.
All right. So these are your 4 options for an unplayable ball relief in a bunker. So you have your first option, which is stroke and distance, where you go back and replay from that spot you originally played from. You have your second option, which is back on the line relief, and the ball must stay in the bunker. And then you have your third option of the lateral relief, which is 2 club lengths. And again, your 2 club lengths must stay in the bunker. So those first 3 options are all 1 penalty stroke. And then for an unplayable ball in a bunker, you also get this fourth option for 2 penalty strokes, which is back on the line relief outside of the bunker. So those are your 4 options for relief for an unplayable ball in a bunker. And then do we have any questions? All right, so that is all we have for tonight. As always, if you have interest in the rules or have any interest in becoming a rules official, we at the CGA are always looking for new rules officials that are interested in the rules of golf. So if you have any interest, please just reply to that email you got earlier with the Zoom link, and we will send it your information on to the proper person. And then if anybody has any final questions, we would be happy to answer them. All right. Then if not, we appreciate you guys spending some time with us and hope you enjoyed this presentation that we had for you.